Hi guys, welcome to Digital TechJoint. In this video tutorials, we are going to learn about how to configure your S3 lifecycle rules and enable server logging. Lifecycle rule will typically help you to manage your storage and also optimize your cost. And the server logging will help you to track down all the activities that has been performed on your bucket. And I hope that you guys have also watched my previous videos released on for S3 that covered all the topics right from introduction to S3, bucket versioning, how to host a website on AWS S3, and how to generate a pre-signed URL that will enable you to share your links with the selected users to download your exclusive content. So in this series, let's go and understand these two functionalities. So let's go to our AWS management console. So I have logged into my AWS management console. I will select services, all services, and under the storage I'll go select S3. So first we are going to understand about lifecycle rules. So I have already created a couple of buckets. So in order to explain lifecycle rule, I will select any one of the bucket, for example Digital TechJoint 1, and there are a few files over here, and I'll select the management option. Now in the management option, there's the first option provided as lifecycle rule. So what is basically a lifecycle rule? So a lifecycle rules helps you to manage your storage. For instance, whenever you upload any objects on S3, by default the storage class is standard, and then if you wish to move this from the standard class to standard infrequent access, or if you wish to move from standard infrequently access to one zone storage type and then to Glacier Deep Archive, so this level of transaction can be automated by using your lifecycle rules. So what is the advantage? The advantage is that as and when you feel that your objects uploaded are not in use, it can define basis the number of days defined, it can move to the next type of storage class, reducing your cost and also efficiently managing your storage. So here there is no demo as such, but I'll show you. In this bucket, I go to management and I say create lifecycle rules. I enter the role name. Now this options provides me to whether the rule should be applied to a specific objects in the bucket, or it should be applied to all the buckets. So if I want to apply all the bucket, I acknowledge. Then this is lifecycle rule action. Now if you look at these are the options that you can select, like move current version of object between storage class. So I can move between as I mentioned, move between standard to standard IA, or I can move between standard to intelligent trialing. Let me enter one rule for you and show it to you. Then there is move non-current versions, then expire current versions, permanently delete non-current versions, and delete expired object, delete markers, or incomplete multi-parts upload. So these are the options that you can automate it. Let me select the second option and show you how to define the rules. So the first rule is, by default, as I mentioned, your objects are stored in the standard format. So my first rule is that after 30 days, it should move to standard infrequently accessed format. So this is my first rule. I say add transition, and then after 30 days it moves to I wish that after 30 days and after 60 days it should move to intelligent tiering, and then after 90 days it should move to one zone IA. So this is the way you configure your transition of your object. So you can see the rules defined: 0 to 30 goes to standard IA, then after 60 days it moves to intelligent tiering, and after 90 days it moves to one zone IA. So I create this rule. So once the rule is created, you can see the rules is defined over here. You can see its transition from standard IA, then to intelligent trialing, and then to one zone IA. If you click on this rule, you can see the same transition movement defined over here. So this is what is more lifecycle rules that you can define and help you to manage your objects and upload it in the bucket efficiently. And obviously every class has some cost associated So now when you're moving from a higher storage class to a low storage class, obviously your cost will be reduced. Now I just go ahead and just delete this root. And now we will understand about how to enable server logging. So for that I will just create two buckets. So I'll create one bucket called Digital TechJoint bucket 1, and this will be in Mumbai sort, and then here I select ACL enabled. Okay, I don't need to be a public right now, so I have to make this bucket versioning enabled. This is important to enable the server logging, and then I create this bucket. So my bucket is created, Digital TechJoint bucket 1. I'll create one more bucket, Digital TechJoint bucket 2. It will be the same region and enabled. I don't require to enable the versioning because I want this bucket to store all the logs, and I say create. Okay, so I have created two buckets. Now in the bucket 1, I will select the bucket 1 and go to properties, and here if you scroll down, there is something called server access logging. I click on edit and I enable it. So this is the first thing I have to do, and then when I enable bucket, it will ask to select the bucket where you want to store the log. Make sure that you don't select the same bucket, otherwise if you select the same bucket, it will go into a cyclic loop, so please avoid doing that. Select the bucket. So in my case I will select the second bucket, which is Digital TechJoint bucket 2, and click OK. So all the logs will be logged over here, and please note the message that is prompted. When you enable server logging, the S3 console automatically updates your bucket policy to include access to the S3 log delivery group. So this is something that AWS does once you enable the bucket, and I click on save changes. So now my bucket, so I will now go ahead and select Digital TechJoint bucket 1 and try to upload some files. So I upload one PPT, and I expect that the log should be created and displayed in bucket 2. However, there are two things. First, this logging of the data into the Digital TechJoint bucket 2 takes a lot of time, so we'll have to wait for some time. But there is one more important setting that we need to do in order to enable storing the logs in this bucket, and that setting is click on permission. So you need to go to the bucket where you want to store the log, select the bucket, click on permissions, scroll down, and there is access control list. Click on edit, scroll down, and then you can see S3 log delivery group. Select all these options, list, read, write, and click on save changes. So once this is done, now your bucket, Digital TechJoint bucket 2, is ready to accept the logs. I'll try to upload a couple of more files, but it takes some time, around sometimes 15 to 30 minutes to save the log in that folder. So I'll just try. So what I had done is that since it takes time, I had created two buckets, Digital TechJoint 1, you can see, and then Digital TechJoint 2 logs. So I had enabled the same setting in these two buckets. So I'll go and select the Digital TechJoint log bucket, and you will see all the logs that you are able to see in this bucket. So these are the typical logs that contains every information about the activity that I performed in this bucket, Digital TechJoint 1. So I uploaded a couple of files, deleted, then uploaded them back. So those logs were actually written in this folder. This I created so that I can show it to you, because it takes time for this log to get finally saved in the bucket. So that is the reason I have saved it over here. Now there is something that when you click on this log, you will be able to see the details. But if you want to extract more information, you can definitely use the service of AWS called Athena, and Athena will enable you to query from your logs, which is defined over here. That I'll cover in the later session. For now, this is how you need to enable the logging in your bucket, and I'll just check whether it's no, so it's still not saved. It might take some time, but I've already shown you how the logs looks and how it is stored. So guys, I've covered these two topics, lifecycle rule and how to enable server logging in S3 bucket. Hope you like this video. Please do subscribe my channel, like my videos, and share my channel with your friends and colleagues, and help us to grow our developers network. Help us to reach more developers so that such technology tips and to-dos can definitely help my subscribers, my users, to learn something new and explore more. Thank you guys for your time.